Hey everyone, my name is Random Attribute. This is something that I've been wanting to do for, I'd say, the better part of 2 decades. As a small child, I had the opportunity to play through most of Sierra's adventure games back in the day. With some of the King's Quest games, I've played some of the later King's Quest games, not the earlier ones. I've looked at them very briefly and they just confused me. I've played some of the Police Quest series, didn't really understand what was going on as a kid, and I've played, I think, all of Leisure Suit Larry as a kid. I think that's largely responsible for who I turned out to be today. Anyway, I've always wanted the opportunity to go back and play those games, not to see if they hold up, but just for nostalgia. And that's what I'm doing here. Today, we're starting with the Space Quest series. I intend to play these 1 through to 6. To be clear, I have played 1 through to 5. I remember most of it, I think, but we'll see how we go. I've not played 6, that is going to be a blind playthrough. I've heard some bad things about 6, but we'll see what it's like when we get there. The collection that I purchased from GOG does not include the VGA version of Space Quest 1. We're looking at the EGA version right here. I'm not sure why it doesn't include it. It's available elsewhere on Steam. If I see it cheap somewhere on its own, I'll probably pick it up and play through it, but otherwise, I'll probably give that a miss. I have also seen a fan remake of Space Quest 2 lurking around the internets, but I'm probably going to give that one a miss as well, if only because I prefer to stick with the OG material. Anyway, let's briefly look at the manual and the story of this game. So, the manuals for this series are all pretty goofy and weird, and they're like comic books or your typical advertisement sections in your local rag, but the first manual plays it very, very straight. There's very little humour here, it's very, very straight. Far beyond the reaches of known space lies a planetary system known to its inhabitants as Ernon. For many years, Ernon's sun has been slowly dying. The planets are growing cold and food is no longer plentiful. The beings of these ever-darkening worlds struggle to maintain the daily balance of life. The only hope for Ernon's survival has rested in the scientific community on the governing planet of Xenon, which has been working for quite some time on a plan to convert one of the system's lifeless planets into a new sun. The effort has been centered around the development of a device called the Star Generator. The development team for the project has been stationed aboard the space lab Arcada. I think that's how you pronounce it. Arcada? Arcada. 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 I'll try and remember that. And sent to the outer edge of Ernon to further its research. You, a lowly apprentice sanitation engineer, are employed on the Arcada. Arcada? Arcada. Okay. It is common knowledge aboard the Arcada. Fuck me. Arcada. It is common knowledge aboard Arcada. It is common knowledge aboard the Arcada that the scientists have just successfully completed the development and first stages of testing of the Star Generator. Although still in the experimental stages, it appears to be fully operational. Triumphantly, the good news is flashed back to Xenon as the crew of the Arcada prepares for the trip home. But the news does not travel far before it reaches unintended ears. Monitoring the Arcada's transmissions are Sariens, space pirates who cruise the galaxies wreaking havoc. Once citizens of Ernon, the Sariens were banished long ago for their warlike ways. One would think they would have gotten over it by now, but apparently they still hold a grudge. The Sariens immediately plan to unleash its awesome power on Xenon, destroying all life there, and bring... They plan to unleash its awesome power on Xenon, destroying all life there, and bring the rest of... Ernon. They plan to unleash its awesome power on Xenon, destroying all life there, and bring the rest of Ernon to its knees. The day of reckoning has now come, as the massive battlecruiser swings into attack position. As your adventure begins, you are currently conducting one of your famous on-shift naps in the janitorial storage closet. Suddenly, you are rudely awakened by explosions that rock the ship. This does not amuse you, as your dream was just getting interesting. There's no description of the dream. Immediately, the alarm system is activated and an announcement comes over the intercom that Sarien troops have boarded the ship. From your hiding place, You hear laser blasts mingled with the screams of your crewmates. With a well-developed sense of self-preservation, you decide to stay put for a while. Soon, the commotion dies down, and you get brave enough to take a look outside. You crack the closet door and peer into the corridor. Your eyes fall upon a grisly sight. Several of your fellow crew members lie dead on the floor. A group of Sariens, apparently admiring their handiwork, are close enough for you to touch them. You breathe a sigh of relief as they move off. Although you aren't used to doing a lot of thinking, your job doesn't usually require much, now your brain cells are working furiously. It is obvious, even to you, what their objective must be: the capture of the star generator. You're no hero. To leap out and try to stop these murderous marauders would cost you your life and gain nothing. But to hide forever in this closet would also be pointless. You are bound to be discovered eventually. You must somehow escape from the captured vessel. Before you leave your sanctuary, you have one last thought. You need to find a way to render the star generator inoperative in the Sarien's hands. Perhaps some clue as to how to do this might be found somewhere on the Arcada. Because, although you're not anxious to throw your life away, neither are you willing to see the entire galaxy under the rule of those fiendish, evil Sariens. Little do you imagine the adventures in store for you as you prepare to risk your life for the freedom of the entire universe. Of the entire universe? Really? I would think it's just a planetary system called Ernon, but, you know. And this here is the intro. I'm not going to read all of this out because I've done enough reading already. It's a little bit different from what we saw in the manual, but ultimately it is the same. Food is no longer plentiful. Life will soon become impossible to sustain. We're going to turn one of Xenon's new planets. We're going to turn one of Ernon's lifeless planets into a new sun. That seems very dangerous. We can use the star generator to ignite an otherwise useless planet into a raging ball of flame. If that fell into the wrong hands, oof. That's right, a janitor. And we're not a very good one. Alright, let's do this. Welcome aboard Arcada. To log on as a crew member, please enter your name below up to 18 characters. So, officially, the character's name in this series is Roger Wilco, and that is mentioned in the manual. It was mentioned on the page before I started reading. If you hit enter here, that's the name that will be given to you. But otherwise, you can name the protagonist as you so please. But just know that in future games, nobody can see my mouse down at the bottom left there. In future games, you are referred to as Roger Wilco, so we're going canon today. You are startled by the sound of an alarm. It is followed by an urgent voice which warns that the Arcada has been boarded by unknown intruders. It ends abruptly. So, a bit different from the manual that we read. The alarm went off a while ago, and then we stayed in the closet, and then we finally come out of the closet, but it's fine. First things first, saving the game. So, you can see here there is a mouse here, but the mouse doesn't actually do anything other than maybe interacting with the menus up here. I tell a lie, we can click on things. But there's really no point in doing so because we need the keyboard for this. The keys, the arrow keys control where we're going. If I push right on the keyboard, for example, I'm walking right. If I push right again, I'll come to a stop. You can probably hear me tapping the keyboard there. This was before the day of icon-based interfaces, so what we have to do to interact with the world is we have to type stuff. So let's start by looking around. This is one of the many hallways in the Arcada. You have just stumbled into a small, dark, and very cluttered utility closet. Many things fall, most of them landing on you. Doesn't say much for your cleaning prowess. You can't see anything in here because it is dark. Can I turn on a light? No, that's way too complicated for this game. I need to check when this game came out. The DOSBox window says it is 1987, but I've got a feeling it came out before that. So nothing in the closet. I can speed the game up a bit by choosing a different speed here, but we definitely don't want to be going on fastest because we will die very, very quickly. All right. Let's go in this door to our left. This is the Arcada's data archive. Many volumes of information are stored on data cartridges. There is a computer console here. The table is used for holding things above the floor. That's surprisingly insightful. It looks much like many other chairs you have seen in your lifetime. I don't think I've ever seen a chair like that. Can I sit on the chair? You don't have time to be sitting around. Looking at the wall, you see shelves full of data cartridges, which can only be removed by the retrieval units. It is a Model DX cartridge retrieval unit. It is used to retrieve cartridges. It is currently empty. Oof. Welcome to the Arcada Data Archive, Model DX Storage and Retrieval System. To select a cartridge, enter the title below. Press Enter to quit. Title catalog available with top security clearance only. Which we don't have. We are a janitor. We don't have anything like that. Alright, we'll have to come back here later. And just to be clear, I can't take these, can I? That can't be done right now. Maybe later. This another hallway aboard the Arcada. Sick. There is an elevator door nearby. And we have 2 dead bodies below us. Charming. You are in one of the Arcada's hallways near an elevator. I really should stop doing that. Look at body. It appears to be one of your crewmates. He is non-functional. I mean, that's one way of putting it. Let's search his body. You search the body of your crewmate and find a keycard. You take the keycard, and our score has gone up by 1 point. At this point, I'm going to make a save because we're going to get attacked very shortly from what I remember. So I'm pretty sure this just loops around. Yep, that's where we started. Oh. Yeah, we are definitely not alone here. God, I apologize if my mouse covers the screen for an extended period of time. I'm going to have to watch out for that. Alright, so I do distinctly recall we have to enter this room from this way, and something will happen. Maybe. There we go. The door opens and a man you recognize as one of the lab scientists enters. He appears to be injured. After only a few steps, he slumps to the floor. So, lab scientist, he was probably working on the star generator. Look at man. A large laser hole has been burned in his uniform through which you can see previously unexposed tissue. Struggling painfully, he raises up on one elbow. He tells you that the Arcada is under attack and that the star generator is in danger. You had better leave if you value your life. He looks over towards the shelves full of cartridges and utters the words, "Astral body." He then settles to the floor, lifeless. Can I look at him again? It's a grisly sight. There is nothing you can do for him now. Can't do that. Search man. Your search of the damaged body's pockets nets only some heat-fused chunks of varying sizes which were probably melted by a pulse-ray blast. Nothing to waste time on. Charming game. Okay. He just mentioned... Look at the screen. He just mentioned astral body. There we go. Maybe now I can take the cartridge. Done indeed. Alright, we're carrying a keycard and cartridge. This is a data storage cartridge. On it are the words, Astral Body Formation, the Untold Story. Very exciting. The keycard is a flat, rectangular piece of synthetic material, which is magnetically keyed for passing check stations. Written in tiny letters are the words, Beak and Hinder Security Systems. Is that a reference to something? I am actually not sure. Alright. Let's go explore the lower floor here. A cursory glance indicates that this is a dead lab technician. What about this one? This appears to be a non-breathing research scientist. Your search of the body reveals nothing. Same thing again. Guessing this is a bridge? No. This is the Star Generator Development Laboratory. Due to your incredibly low security clearance, you have never been allowed access to this room. Then who keeps it clean? There must be more than one janitor aboard this ship. Yet another body lies motionless. You see sprawled at your feet the lifeless body of another crew member. Everyone's dead except me. The reward for your search is... nothing. Same thing there. Look, what is this thing? Are you sure you want to look at that? I'm pretty sure. Your mind is boggled in attempting to understand the function of the various buttons, switches, lights, and displays. It appears the board is not operating. What about this screen here? Warning! Self-destruct mechanism has been armed. Evacuate ship immediately. This is not a test. Time till destination. That is going down very fast. That's about 5 minutes of real time. What is this thing? I mean, it doesn't really tell me what it is. There is an empty pedestal here. It looks like it is used to hold some large object. Maybe the star generator. But it's not here. I don't think we're going to get off this thing in time. I I think we spent too long doing dramatic readings and things like that. No footsteps. Look at body. This is another one of your non-functional crewmates. It's a grisly sight. Non-functional, really, game? A quick search of the body turns up nothing. This is an elevator to one of the lower levels. That's our way out. If you hear footsteps, you have to get out of sight immediately. That much I do remember. That is going to take me back to the start. We've been there, so let's take this elevator down. Game's trolling me. This is a section of one of the lower levels of the Arcada. You see a body here. It is a formerly live crewmate. Your search of the laser-riddled corpse reveals nothing. You are in the central control area of the Arcada. The reactor domes pulsate irregularly, as if they had been tampered with. This does not look good. Through the window just above the control console, you can see down into the vehicle bay below. A vehicle bay. That's probably our way out. Here lies another heap of fried humanity. The attackers have proven to be very thorough thus far. There's something to be said for not being the hero type you rationalize. Don't fully understand your thought process there, Roger. You search the damaged body of your fellow crewman. You get too close, a glimpse of the injury. That doesn't make sense. In the pockets you find nothing. There is a red flashing alarm light here, which seems to be indicating that you had better get moving. I assume that's referring to the light on the ceiling. The domes cover access tubes to the Arcada's power plant. They are bolted closed since they seldom require maintenance. Can we open them? That doesn't seem to be the correct action in this case. Alright. What are these buttons? That does not seem to be in your sight right now. Your limited view shows that there is a large vehicle bay below. I'm not going to get anything else there. Another body. Oh god. We need to open this thing immediately and then run. Slow, please. No, that's it. We're dead. Easy as that. I'll read that in a sec. The alien observes his handiwork briefly, then leaves. As you lie on the floor in a smouldering, carbo-gelatinous heap, you can't help but wonder why you bothered getting up this morning. And that's pretty much how I feel all day, every day. Thank you for playing Space Quest. Too bad you failed miserably and doomed all your people to a horrible death at the hands of the Sariens. If you continue playing as skillfully as this, we'll never get a chance for a sequel. Better luck next time. Alright, first death. Yeah, we need to get our skates on here. This is one of the mid-level decks of the Arcada. No full stop. One of your crewmates lies at your feet. He is also non-functional. You search the corpse and turn up nothing. Yeah, so this elevator won't open. Alas, it does not open. You have adorned the door with a small circle of nose grease. Were you Carl Malden? It could have gotten ugly. Who is Carl Malden? I'll have to look that up. That must be a reference to something. You slide the keycard into its slot. You hear an audible click. You take the keycard back. This is the flight prep room of the Arcada. As you can see, there is a sign on the back wall as well as 2 closet doors and 2 buttons. I don't think we're going to have enough time to get out. I can't spell. My inability to type is going to get me killed. It looks like an electrical gadget of some sort. Yeah, I really should be playing on normal here, just so I've got more typing time. You see a flight suit hanging in the closet. We need that. We have a flight suit. What have we picked up here? Can we go around to the left here? We can. Written on the electronic gadget are the words Dialect Translator. On one end is a dial and a light. Currently dim. Perhaps I should switch that on. The console is adorned with many status indicators. One button on the right is marked Airlock. You'll have to be more specific about which button you wish to choose. Yep, okay. Let's press the airlock button. Bay doors are closed. I don't suppose I can do it from here? Nope. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get out in time. There is a very critical set of things that we need to do, and we need to do them quickly. This is the cavernous vehicle bay. Looking at the console, you see a button marked platform. There are also some gauges which don't interest you. Can't spell. For safety reasons, the platform will not function with the bay doors closed. How do we open the bay doors? I've got a horrible feeling we need to do that upstairs, and we're not going to have enough time. And that's a death. Just like that. Alright. Let's go back to our conveniently placed autosave. Is this where we open the bay doors? Wow. On the console by the window are 2 buttons marked Open Bay Door and Close Bay Door. There we go. I suspect the only thing we could maybe do is... No, we didn't get there in time. We might be able to hide behind the elevator, perhaps. There's clearly a way of doing this. It is also possibly RNG. A very early example of RNG. we go. Right. Warning. Bay doors are no doubt open. Let's grab the gadget. Grab the suits. We need to press the airlock button. Come on. And then we need to press the platform button here. There is now an escape pod here. Good stuff. This is one of the Arcada's escape pods. You vaguely remember receiving some orientation on these when you joined the crew. That's not a good sign. We're in. So at this point, I believe we can still die. Things can go horribly wrong. Like if we wait here long enough. In fact, we can confirm that. Let's just put it on fastest for a moment. And wait a moment. Because if fast is counting 1 minute as 30 seconds, then fastest will probably end things very quickly. There we go. Gosh, Roger Wilco, it would appear you have met an untimely demise. With the explosive demonstration of the Arcada, you become part of a fresh collection of space debris. I think we'll have to clean that up. Yeah, it looks like that final message is not going to change no matter how we die. Alright, let's have a look around in here. You are sitting in the pilot seat of the escape pod facing towards the window. There is a dark console before you and seatbelt straps at your side. We should probably put those on. Confused as to what you should do, you wish you would have paid more attention during crew orientation. Let's put on that seatbelt. Done. Look at console. The console consists of a screen, pod status indicators, a throttle, and some buttons. The buttons are marked Auto Nav, Power, and Don't Touch. I mean, we have to touch that button. I would be doing everyone a disservice if we did not push that button. That has no effect now. Interesting. Press Power. Let's look at the screen. Escape pod systems activated. Ready for instructions. Emergency program initiated. Pull throttle to execute launch sequence. No, I think we'll press Don't Touch. I don't think we have anything else. A dark console before you. No, it's not dark anymore. A screen. We've looked at the screen, the status indicators, the throttle, Auto Nav, Power, and Don't Touch. Let's see if we can look at the indicators. No, nothing. Alright, let's pull this throttle. Your door is ajar. Switch it back to normal. The escape pod moves slowly out of the vehicle bay and into space. Congratulations! You have narrowly escaped an explosive death. Don't start patting yourself on the back just yet though. You are now travelling aimlessly through the cosmos.